What are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta do something about the clowns, dude.
And Nightmare George Washington. Michael wants my help investigating what's making the neighborhood go nuts, which is obviously me.
What if, by the way, and I'm kind of thinking that more so because it is layering it on thick that it's Eleanor. What if the sinkhole's not Eleanor? I'm just gonna throw it out there on the table, just skim it across the table. Do you know? Well, that implies that it goes miles away and miles off the table. That's fair. And maybe I am, but we'll see.
What do I do here?
The answer is...
Right here in this easily understandable comic strip.
Nope, in this book about the theory of contractualism.
Okay.
Imagine a group of reasonable people are coming up with the rules for a new society.
Well, my first rule would be that no one can veto my rules.
Well, that's called tyranny. You make a promise to someone, you should do it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think a promise is a basic transaction at the end of the day, right? I think you can break that, but then obviously if you break your promise, word will get round if you do it enough, and at least that person who you broke that promise to will not take you seriously anymore when you say you're going to do something, right? Which I do feel like in future is going to make life harder for you if you break your promise. I think that's kind of, you know, the basic transactional value of a promise and the consequences of breaking it, and I think that's fair.
Just like I promised to help you.
But I agree with him. Basic principle, I think, you know, if you do make a promise, you should. It's well within your rights to break that promise for whatever reason. You can justify it as much as you want and, you know, appeal to the person who's like, well, this is why I did it. And if they, you know, agree that that's a good enough reason, then I think that's fair too.
Either I help him find the problem, which is me, and I'm doomed, or I don't help him and then I'm behaving unethically.
No, I think just go in there, be honest, and whatever questions he has, whatever he kind of comes at you with, whatever task he gives you, do it to the best of your ability, while also, I do feel like there's a way to do that without necessarily lying. Let's go to Michael first, see what he wants to do, and then, you know, act accordingly. I don't think it's as simple as she's making it out. She's got two options here. She either tells him it's her or doesn't help him. I think you can still help him and not tell him.
I need to figure out a way to both help him and not help him.
Yes, good.
That's literally not possible.
What? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, I disagree. I disagree strongly, Chidi. For example, go to Michael. Let's say he gives Eleanor a task like he has done before. He's like, go to this spot, this spot, this spot. Anything iffy that, okay, I'm ad-libbing, I'm sorry. Anything iffy that you see at these spots, tell me about it. Anything out of place, come back and tell me about it. Then Eleanor's like, yes, sirree. That's also not how she talks. That's fair. Goes to the places, goes like, nothing here. Goes back, reports to Michael. Do you know what I mean? And you are helping him, but also not helping him. Like, I just, Chidi. Surprising that you would say that. I would also say I understand Chidi's point. There's an implication of not helping by not telling him what they know. At the same time, Eleanor and Chidi have assumed they know what it is because they know something Michael doesn't. That isn't actually the same as knowing what's causing the sinkholes. It's justifiable to take a stance of we don't definitively know, so let's not spoil the field of testing by skewing the method to possibly favour something that might not be right. It's interesting that something that seems so simple was framed as simple, but really isn't when you start to dig into it. And I think Chidi again is simplifying something that is more nuanced than he's giving credit.
Oh, really? I once posed as a hot prom date for my cousin, both helping him and later, according to his therapist, not helping him.
Oh, hello. Shot? Yes, sir. Why not?
Oh, hey.
The bow tie. No, Michael, what have you done?
There's a lot of tension in the air right now.
Are you okay, buddy?
To prepare to meet all of you, I studied the human concept of friends.
Again, I'm like, what are you, mate? You keep dividing humans and non-humans. You are not human, apparently. What are you, man? Very interested.
I even watched all 10 seasons of the show, Friends. How did they afford that apartment?
Right.
A waitress and a chef with those men.
Don't think about it too hard.
I could really use a friend by my side.
Nice.
Well, you know me, the person who has audibly promised
And you
to
can
help you.
do that. You can still do that.
I'm here for you. It's gonna mean taking care of Lester, too.
Oh God, is Lester gonna die?
Walk and feed him twice a day.
Oh my goodness.
Give him his kidney medicine. Yeah.
Oh God.
Eleanor. Yeah.
He's gonna die. He's dead. Rest in peace.
I won't let you down. I promise.
Rest in peace, Lester. Oh, Lester. Oh, it was nice knowing you, dude. You were very cute.
How are you?
I am decidedly so.
Oh my God, was that his tactic?
Dude, you gotta come with us to the spa.
No way. No, that's really weird.
Yeah.
She freaks me out.
Why?
She's so pretty, like,
Oh,
If I feel sympathy for anyone, it's Tahani. She's going through the same thing I am, but she doesn't know it. Which means maybe I'm obligated to tell her. Although maybe it's better not to know. Or will the painful truth actually
Interesting,
be
yeah.
healing?
I do find it interesting how he does, like just then he went internal and he was like trying to find the right answer. It's like, what would you do in that situation? What is the moral good in that situation? What should you do? Because, you know, it's interesting. I don't know. I do feel like rather than him telling Tahani, I do feel like he should be doing all that he can to persuade Jason to tell Tahani. Because I think to a certain extent, you could come at it from this perspective of like, yeah, if I go around Jason, tell Tahani, I am thereby disrespecting Jason, his wishes, what he wants, when he might be ready to tell Tahani, right? Is it the better option to go to Tahani and hurt her quick and fast, as opposed to drawing this out and making perhaps the eventual time where you have to tell her even more painful than it would be if he told her now? And then it's the question of like, how much is that his responsibility? Is it his responsibility or is it Jason's? And I think I would come down more on the side that it's Jason's. It's actually a very complex question, despite it being a simple one. And inherently there is some selfishness in there as well, I think, because he's tied to Eleanor, right? So there's that at play as well, influencing his decision. It's like if you are kind of falling back on that, and it's like, well, if she finds out about Jason and then she finds out because of that about us, that puts me at risk. You know, there's that selfish element, and if that's influencing him, that is probably maybe not so morally good, you know, the morally good thing to kind of fall back onto. I do feel like there's a sliver of moral good in teaching Jason a little bit and doing what he is doing. I personally think, for me, I think the best thing to do, and I think the morally good thing to do regarding all that, is to get Jason to a place where he can find that he's more comfortable and he can tell Tahani and deal with it maturely. I think considering everything at play, that depends on a lot, right? Because like whatever you do here, Tahani's going to get hurt. Whichever one of those you choose, Chidi goes to her, she's going to get hurt. If Chidi can get Jason to a place where he tells her, she's going to get hurt. That's always going to happen. So it's like you can't avoid that. You're never going to avoid that. So I think to a certain extent, as cold as that sounds, you can take that out of it, because that's always going to be there. Nothing you do can change that. So I think to a certain extent, you have to stop kind of almost bringing that into the conversation and deal with what you can deal with, which I think is the way that you deliver the news to her. I think Chidi going to her would mean less than it would coming from Jason, which is why I'm like, okay, I think Jason should be the one to tell her. I don't think he's in the mature place right now to be able to do that in a way that's going to soften that blow, and I think Chidi can help. So that's why I think like that's what he should be doing. I think that's the morally right, the morally good thing to choose at this point. And very, very nicely, very coincidentally, also ensures that the best chance they have for keeping his own selfish needs catered for and keeping his and Eleanor's secret is to counsel Jason a little bit and make sure that when that does happen, maybe even Eleanor and Chidi are there or outside, you know, give them a second, and then they come in and then they all talk.
I cannot wait to just relax and talk. And
Hey, I'll come too.
Real natural, Chidi. Well done.
Chidi.
Eleanor's off with Michael, and John Yu feels comfortable when I'm around, right?
made in Taiwan.
We need to find that object. We're going to start with the rocks.
All of them?
I've investigated all of the rocks in the neighborhood.
My guy.
These 78 are the most suspicious.
Why? Tell me why. Let's go over it.
Many of them look defective.
Take me in your hands.
Devious little monsters here.
Let's take a deep breath here, buddy.
Good.
You need to chill a little.
Yes.
'Cause you have a very psycho burnout guy muttering to himself.
Good. Good, Eleanor. You've been a good friend.
What else can I do?
You could stop working. I promise to help you, and honestly, the way I can help you is to force you to take a break.
Do you know what? I think she's found the line to tread there. That actually, as much as there is some selfishness motivated in these things she's saying right there, I do agree. I do. I think he needs to step away from it a little bit, and that can help sometimes, you know, get a little bit of space, breathe, relax. You know, he's not taking care of himself. He's not shaving. You know, the bow tie, Michael, the bow tie is not even tied. What are you even doing? Do you know what I mean? He needs a little bit of time just to decompress, reassess, and get back to it. Good advice. The good face spa.
You have to step up. Find a way to connect with her without you know, being you.
No, bad advice. Jason needs to tell her. At the very least, dude, you just need to sit down and have a conversation. Just talk. Just talk. See how it goes, right? You don't have to tell her everything at once. Just literally get to know her a little bit. Build up that relationship a little bit more.
There's something so human about taking something great and ruining it a little so you can have more.
Why do you need a human to be your assistant? Aren't there more
Good,
of
ask some questions. Fact
whatever
find.
you are?
Well, since we're becoming
Yeah,
friends,
go on.
like Ross and Phoebe,
Hello.
Weird combo to pick, but okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you a secret.
go on.
Usually, architects don't live in their neighborhoods. Usually, the people show up, we play the movie,
Yeah.
Janet is there to answer questions, and you're on your own.
Huh.
But I had this theory. I thought transition would be easier if the architect were on site.
Huh.
My boss thought I was nuts.
Right.
More importantly, I promised all of you that you would be safe and happy, and you just don't break a promise.
Promise is coming back.
This is so interesting. I mean, there's no point to it. Some time passed, and then it was over. Let's do it again.
My hands are heated to the ideal 105 degrees.
Yikes.
What if I go first and then perhaps John, you could stand near me?
Or
Okay, it's well weird that Chidi's here. I'm so sorry.
while Janet massages Tahani, I massage John-Yu.
Chidi, think before you... Okay.
Who's your favorite artist?
I mean, Pitbull changed the game.
No, let him just say. Honestly, I think she might like him, you know, just for himself.
Pitbull changed the game.
Just his one-liners as well. Pitbull changed the game.
Man, I didn't even want that thing. Why am I trying to win it? Sometimes all you guys think about is how you can have the most fun.
That was practically my mantra.
Does this dog smoke blunts topless on a yacht like a boss?
That's a very good point.
This is
Is it?
for Rihanna. Do I really need to keep going?
No.
Okay,
No.
this is dinner tonight.
He will eat all of that in one sitting, mate.
This is in case of emergency. Do not eat this.
Oh my god. No.
I'm ready to be a mom.
No.
Johnny, what are your paws like?
Well,
Dude, she's trying so hard and you're giving her nothing.
well, you keep stopping him, Chidi, mate.
She said she likes impressionist paintings.
Impressionist paintings? Okay, say no more.
No, I know he's gonna take that as you take some paint and you make an impression of something. Like you put your hand in the paint and that's an impression of a hand. Like, do you know what I mean? I know he's thinking that.
Would you say I helped you today?
Oh, so much.
By the way, briefly, and I'm going to work so hard to make this brief. This storyline is very interesting because they are kind of almost bringing up what it is to be human sometimes. And I think, you know, the systems that we have today, how they are in the way of that. Especially at the moment, you know, we're in late stage capitalism and it's so bad. Everything's so expensive. No one can buy a house. Food, oh God, no, don't even talk to me about food, mate. It's so expensive. Everything almost is, you know, there's so many aspects to how we live life today that get in the way of this, get in the way of fun, get in the way of community, you know, seeing the people you want to see. I've drawn attention to how hard it is sometimes to, you know, if you've got like a 9 to 5, you come home, you got to eat food, you got to get your 8 hours, you got to get recreation time, weekend comes, hey, good, we got some time, good. Catch up with the laundry, sir. Catch up with the laundry. You know, clean the house, everything, all the time. And it's like there's no time ever to, you know, discover what it is you want, what it is you truly want from life, what you enjoy about life. You know, we all have those things that we're like, oh, I'd love to do that. And I just don't have the time for it. And I do think the way that we live today doesn't allow us the best opportunity to do this, right? I mean, Ellen is teaching him the fundamentals of what it is to be human and have fun, right? We've made all this stuff. The line that Michael had before of like, there's no point to this, but it makes me want to do the thing, you know, when he was doing the claw thing, trying to get that, you know, the karaoke, you do it, time passes, it doesn't achieve anything, but you feel good, right? And sometimes that's enough. To a certain extent, we've lost ourselves in the tangible. We've lost ourselves in the gotta get money, gotta buy things, gotta, you know, do this, rather than looking in and being like, well, what makes me feel happy, truly, right? And I get, you know, buying stuff can give us that shot of serotonin that makes us feel good. I get that. I do get that, but I do feel like that's finite and it's not like gonna give you long lasting contentment, let's say. And you know, this kind of fun that they're talking about, it's fleeting and it's not necessarily deep-seated, but I think you need some of this as a balance, right? But I do feel like we're moving more away from that stuff because we're not allowing ourselves, we don't allow ourselves, you know, things are so expensive, it's so hard to live nowadays that there's never any time for the things that we as humans, I think, inherently need. Alright, Jason needs to get to a place where he's just talking.
You sure this is where you want to be, right?
Oh, I thought that was Jason.
No use avoiding it, Judy. I'm alone.
Besser.
I just want a soulmate. Someone I can share my passions with. Of a Degas.
I love Degas. I took painting lessons as a kid.
Hello. Oh, are these guys gonna get on?
We have a special on soulmate muffins, 2 for the price of 0. Everything is free.
Good, as it should be.
Soul friends.
I don't know. Oh, Tahani. This is the thing though. I don't think Jason, I get it, but sometimes opposites attract as well. I don't think Jason's had his time. Look, hey, scratch all that, like, it seems like they could get on, and if they like each other, brilliant, awesome. But I wish almost that Jason had been honest with her first. If not about what's happening, about who he is, right, more so. Because then Tahani would know more about if she actually liked that or not, liked him or not. I think if we got to the end of that, and she didn't, and then this happened, perfect. There's a little bit of me that's like, Jason wasn't allowed to be himself.
Not working actually worked.
Yeah, the bow tie's back, good, perfect.
The problem in our neighborhood, it's not a rock or an object. It's one of the people.
Uh-oh.
So do you think we're looking for a man, or do you think we're looking for 2 men?
Our criminal is on this very short list.
I'll add everybody who flew overhead.
Our criminal is on this much longer list.
Check it.
What?
Yeah, what?
I got her a painting of the best impressionist of all time.
Okay, that was another way to go, that's fair.
How do you pump your fist again?
Amazing.
I feel like Friends in season 8. Out of ideas and forcing Joey and Rachel together even though it made no sense.
No, I think it made a lot of sense, actually. I do honestly think it made a lot of sense, and if anything, it made less sense for her to get back with Ross again after... Okay, let's not get too bogged down with that.
I hope the sinkhole opens up again and swallows me whole.
Is she gonna be... This is the thing. Is she gonna get to a point where she is just honest about it? I wonder. And actually, interestingly, will that redeem her as well?
The vet says his...
Oh my god. Well, he's not dead. Hello.
I promise to help you, and I will. If you want to look at a million rocks, if you want to just lay here and cry in your hoodie.
Good, she's learning.
I found the answer to the problem.
Chill, Eleanor, chill.
More abundant devastating, please.
Jeez. Okay.
Judy.
Chidi got this, didn't he?
It's 3 of me.
Right.
You don't say things, but you do things.
You can't now. Chidi is gonna live vicariously through Jason. She's gonna fall for Jason even though it's Chidi telling him to do these things. And oh my goodness, stop it. Stop. Okay, fine. And we'll eventually get to the point, I think, where she's like, you know, oh, it was you all along. Okay, soulmates. Chidi and Tahani.
True soulmate could ever give me such a perfect gift.
I wonder if that's what happened, you know, when things got mixed up. Maybe it was supposed to be Chidi and Tahani. To be fair though, good on Chidi. That's the thing though. I don't know if that's the morally good thing to do, because you're playing with Tahani there, right? Like, on the surface, it's good. It's a good thing. Chidi helped out Jason. Jason asked for his help. Chidi obliged. I think in the long term, because that's the thing, isn't it, right? We're judging this based on the short-term effects or the long-term effects. And it's like, short-term effects, tick, smashed it, mate. Long-term effects, they're looking worse now. Do you know what I mean? Because we are kind of slowly almost enamoring Tahani. Well, I say almost. We're enamoring Tahani to Jason under false pretenses, which in the short term, yes, of course, she's going to like that, right? You know, that's kind of what she's been prepped to want by The Good Place and how this works, and the fact that she came down and Jason Jianyu was there. So good, great. It's going to get to a point maybe though where when she finds out, because she's going to find out, right? And it's like, cool. Oh, it was Chidi all along. Oh, okay. So I should like him, but now I'm finding out that he kind of betrayed me. He tricked me. And now there's some bad feeling towards Chidi because of that. She obviously doesn't like Jason at that point either, because it's like, who are you? I still don't know who you are. And you know what I mean? That's such a messy situation. So it's like, yeah, I do sometimes think when you're making these kinds of decisions, you've not just got to take into account the short term, you've got to, you know, look at that long term and be like, well, in the long term, to avoid the larger hurt, sometimes you gotta make it harder in the short term first to make sure that the long term is the positive. You're in the positive. It's good. It's happy, you know. I find it really interesting, actually kind of masterful, how in this episode, this idea of the promise was set up as sacred. Chidi promised to help Jason, and considering my thoughts on how Chidi's actions are working against the greater moral good here, proves that this idea of the promise sometimes has to be broken, I feel, to cater to the moral good, depending on changing circumstances. Exactly what I talked about at the beginning of the video, and how your only recourse at that point is to explain why you broke that promise and hope that your reasoning resonates with the person you broke your promise to. At that point, whether said person forgives you is up to them, and you have to live with having broken that promise, knowing you did the right thing overall. But then this can be dangerous. You could use this theory to cause greater hurt by misjudging and assuming you know best. It's all well and good me saying what I say, but I also might be wrong. And I think this is a beautiful demonstration of the complexity and sometimes conflicting nature of ethics. It's not perfect either which theory you look at it from, and often you can't know exactly what the right decision was until the chain of events has come to its conclusion, and you can look back and say, I made the right or wrong call.
Well, I did what you said. I honored my agreement.
I think it's chill, dude.
And he found
I think it's going to be fine.
the problem.
Unless he blames someone else that's not to blame.
After I'm gone, take down the rest of those clown paintings.
Good. I think as well, if she goes to Michael at any point, I think they are beginning to have a friendship. If she goes to Michael, tells him everything, I think Michael's going to be like, huh, okay. And then help her. I think he's going to want to help her because they are friends, and I think he does like her. Maybe Michael starts to question the status quo. That'd be interesting.
When I figured it out, it was a shock. But there's no escape.
Oh, he's going to blame himself. Do you think?
The problem is me.
Oh, Michael. Michael.
I have to leave you forever.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yeah, interesting implications for, I think, the Jason, Tahani, Chidi love... that's not triangle. That's not... I'm so sorry. Hang on. Love triangle, right? I'm not the Illuminati, I promise. Yeah, I don't think there were good decisions made in this episode regarding that, despite Chidi, I think, doing what he thinks is the right thing. I disagree with Chidi there. It's interesting, though. I think the way that he set out at the beginning in helping Jason, being there as a friend, I think that was the right decision. I think that was the right thing to do. I think counseling him to not be himself was a bad decision. And then I think Chidi using his own self and knowing what Tahani likes and having that connection with her himself, using that to enamor Jason towards her, I think is the morally worst choice. And I think as well, like I say, in the long term, I think that's only going to cause more pain, more heartache. Yeah. Hey, easy for me to judge outside of the situation. Chidi's in it at the end of the day, you know, and it's hard to do something like I'm saying, right? And just come clean. It absolutely is. Obviously as well, we don't know what's going to happen, but if Chidi comes out and tells her everything as well, Jason does that, right? We don't know how Tahani's going to react. I think she'll be chill, but we don't know. And she might end all of this for them, right? We don't know. So I get it. I get that it's not as easy as I'm talking about it. I am obviously coming at it from a neutral perspective as an audience member. So there's that involved as well. But I am also afraid of Tahani getting hurt because I like Tahani. I like her character. I like her. I think she's really nice. And I just see all of these eventualities turning to something that hurts her. And that's not ideal. I think it's going to be hard to avoid that. I think that's absolutely going to happen at some point. I think the goal now is to reduce how much she's hurt. And I don't think we made decisions in this episode that are working to do that. What we owe to each other, episode 6, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you as always to my beautiful patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Links down below if you want early access and all that good stuff. If that's not your speed, that's all right. Just click on this video right here. Just let it play. You don't even have to watch it. Just let it play, mate. Just help me out, okay? With that said, thank you again, and I will see you very, very soon.